Well, good morning from Alderman Farms.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you know, Tomas came to stay with us this past weekend, and one thing he was saying is that we went down to Louisiana to do some work at my mom's house, and one thing that Tomas said was that he wanted to homeschool. He wished he could homeschool. Why don't you homeschool me, Money? And what did I say?
I'm retired already.
Yeah, I said, I'm retired, sorry. And we homeschooled our 4 kids. Oops. Blue says good morning, too.
Yeah.
He don't know what we're doing. But anyway, so it turned out that Tomas is going to stay with us a little bit longer because of the coronavirus and everything. His mom and dad's working, and they've canceled Tomas's school for 2 weeks. And his teacher is going to be sending in, well, she already has. There's a website that he's going to go to and be able to get some work done and everything. So, guess what? What did I tell him now?
I'm homeschool.
I came out of retirement for a little while. Just for a little while, mind you. Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do for Tomas's lesson is we're going on a nature walk.
It's science class.
Yes, it's science today. So we thought you might want to come along with us.
Yep, nature is not closed down. It's open for business.
Our first stop is our pear tree. I did plant 2 pear trees because you're supposed to have 2 for cross-pollination. Our neighbors across the road does have a pear tree. This tree has been here for about 10 years, and I think it should have maybe bloomed sooner than that. I'm not sure, but this is our first year. Tomas, can you see the white flowers up there?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's actually going to turn into pears. If the bees come and fertilize and cross-pollinate it. That's why it's so important for us to have bees, because if you don't have cross-pollination, it won't make pears. It'll just make flowers. And flowers are pretty, but we want to have pears. So can you step back and look at all the pears up there?
All the flowers.
All the flowers. You see them? That would be a lot of pears if they all make. So we'll have to see. Now, this tree right here, you could climb it, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not allowed to climb this tree, okay? I don't want my limbs broken because I have the potential of making more pears the more limbs I have.
I climb all those trees over there.
Yeah. This is our huckleberry tree. And I believe that's some blooms fixing to come up on it right there. Now, we did not plant this. This was just here. We have multiple ones of these trees all over the property. And, Tomas, have you ever had a huckleberry? You don't know? Well, what's your favorite fruit to eat?
Watermelon, but I barely get them, so pretty much frozen blueberries.
Blueberries. Well, you know what this is? It's a huckleberry, and they taste like blueberries.
Are you gonna freeze them?
You can freeze them, but they're smaller. And so, look at the leaves. You got to look at the leaves of it. You got to remember how the leaves look, because we have lots of these all over the woods. And in just a couple of months, we actually get to pick huckleberries, excuse me, before the blueberries. They'll be ripe. So we'll be picking huckleberries before too long. We got to do a little work on this tree. You see, this is some dead wood on it. But this is a very, very old huckleberry tree. And so we try and flag these trees on the farm or we won't cut them down. All right, this is dewberries. This is like blackberries, except that they ripen sooner, just like the huckleberries ripen before the blueberries. The dewberries will ripen before the blackberries. And usually dewberries are a lot sweeter than a blackberry. And so I've already told everybody that lives here, don't mow down my dewberry patch, because if you can see all the flowers all around, that's going to make lots of dewberries for us. So what is this called?
Dewberries.
Dewberry? And what are they like?
Blueberries.
No, they're like blackberries.
Oh.
They're like blackberries, but you need to make sure you look at them and see how the flowers look. It's important. Come see. You can see the berry starting to make on this one right here. You see, these flower petals are going to fall off. Well, Blue says he likes them too. And the berry is going to come. The flower petals will fall off, and the berry is going to come right there.
Wow.
So it's always good to be able to identify and know for sure what different things are in nature, because you don't just eat a strange berry if you don't know what it is, because some berries are poisonous. So it's always good to know the difference.
Time for our first pop quiz.
Okay.
Go with Monty.
And here's something right here. Here's something. And then there's a big something right there. Watch for snakes now, because snakes are out. Whew,
I think
stepped in a
snakes are
hole.
cool.
All right, so here we go. Here's a limb right here. All right, so look at these leaves. And what is this?
An apple tree?
Okay, we haven't even talked about an apple tree. We've talked about a couple of different trees.
We talked about a pear tree and another kind of tree.
Huckleberries.
So is this the same leaves?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. This is another huckleberry tree. You know, I didn't even realize this was here. So this is another huckleberry tree.
All within a very short distance of the house.
Yep. All the trees are budding out. That's because spring is coming. Or it's here in Mississippi. Well, this is, we call it a thistle. And there's bees on it now actually working. It's great for pollinators. And we came across one back over there in the pasture. And when I come across it, I said, oh, you need to chop that down because they spread like crazy, blah, blah, blah. Well, our good friend Jolene.
At Nate Smith's Nature Friendly Farm.
Yeah, and her YouTube is just Jolene Smith. Anyway, she told Tommy that they are great for pollinators, that bees love them. So guess what? We have thistles growing in our pasture that Tommy don't want to cut down.
And they're everywhere.
So, but isn't that neat, Tomas, to watch that bee work? Then they're getting pollen and all kind of stuff.
They're actually kind of cool. Looking at them close is cool.
Oh, there's a lot of bees. Look at the bees over here. Oh, there's 3 on this one. Wow.
I'm scared.
I like to see them when they got pollen on their pollen pockets on their legs. I don't see any on these
I'm
yet.
scared they're going to think we're messing with them.
They're probably just getting started.
Yeah, because it's still kind of early in the day. It was cold last night, so didn't get out quite as early this morning. But see, they get the pollen and they bring it back to the beehive, and they make honey.
I've always wanted to hold a bee.
You have? That's a long one, Tommy. What kind of bee is that? It seems
it's
long.
not long.
It's not? Okay.
It's normal size.
Well.
Okay, Tomas. I just asked Tomas, what is all this? What is that?
Flowers.
It's flowers. What it's called clovers. And bees really like it. And the goats love to eat it too. Come see. The bees will come and do on these flowers just like they were doing on the thistle. And they have a smell. You want to smell it? Smell this flower. Smells like summer to me.
Yeah.
We used to pick these and try and make necklaces and stuff with
Yeah,
them.
that's right. I remember that.
And then look for 4-leaf clovers too.
Yeah.
Here's the clover here. I think my friend Ben found a 4-leaf clover one time,
We planted
but
some
I never did.
red clover out here. And we had the goats out here eating one day, and Patty had told me she had seen a red clover, but the goats found it before we did. So I've looked every day that I come out here, and I haven't seen any. So, but I do want to seed some more red clover out here. We're turning this pasture into a meadow. Got us a little walking trail. Tomas is headed to the bee box.
Day 12.
No bees.
So 12 days ago, we put out our bait hive, also referred to as a swarm trap, that we purchased from horizontalhive.com, Dr. Leo Shuraskin's website. And it's got 7 lay-ins deep frames in it with full sheets of foundation wax, small cell European foundation wax, and it's got lemongrass oil extract in time release tubes in there. 2 of those that releases just the right amount so it doesn't overwhelm the bees. It's got propolis rubbed around in the box to make it smell like home to the bees.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So, Tomas, why does Papa done that up there? What is he trying to do with that box?
Put it in the LSU Go Tigers beehive.
Yeah, but what has to happen first?
Yeah, what's he do? Why is the box up there? What's he trying to
Because
do?
he has to catch bees to put, like to take out the little, what are they called that you take out?
The frames that
So-
that they work on and start building comb.
Yeah, so there has to be bees on the frames. Then once there are bees on all of the frames, that he puts it in the LSU Go Tigers beehive box.
In a big box.
Now, they don't have to have bees on all the frames, but we do need them to get in there and start working so they'll know that it's home. And then we'll transfer those frames into the LSU Go Tigers beehive that we're going to put right here, right at the base of this tree, so that we can move the bees from right in this beehive straight down, right in this swarm trap right into the beehive. Because if it was more than 3 feet away from this tree, we would have to haul that swarm trap and the bees in it over 3 miles away, leave them there for a week, and then bring them back and put them in the hive. But because they would be wanting to go back up on top of this deer stand. But because we're going to put the hive right beneath it, we'll be able to take them straight from that swarm trap and put them in the hive without having to do that.
So right out in front of the swarm trap and in front of where the beehive is going to be, which is going to be right next to the tree. Yesterday we came out and tilled a couple of little patches and planted some perennial wildflowers. I had 3 little packets, 2 of which came from our friend Jolene at Smith's Nature Friendly Farm. And a couple of them, or one of them came, Patty had gotten. They were some heirloom deer-proof perennial pollinator flowers. So we'll see how that goes.
Blue, up, yes.
Mommy!
Well, so much for the wild nature portion of Tomas's science curriculum today, and now we've moved into agriculture.
Yes, we have to water our plants every day, our seedlings that we're growing, to go to plant out in the high tunnel and out in our garden rows. So I planted these about 2 weeks ago, And probably in 3 to 4 weeks, they're going to be ready to plant out. They'll be big enough. And so I have to water them every day, huh, Tomas? And to make things grow, we planted seeds.
All right, so thanks for joining us on our nature walk at Alderman Farms.
Yes.
And look, as long as you're not feeling bad, get outside and enjoy the beautiful day if you got weather permitting.
Hey, and stay tuned for 10 Minute Tuesday.
Good thinking.